sort of are constructive. Japan technically already has an offensive military. It's just categorized as self-defense. The only thing that the pro side would be changing is the potential that that military can achieve if converted to an offensive standpoint. Only when Japanese military is officially classified as offensive can Japan have the ability to deter China, as they would have the right to use offensive means to aid allies. Second, let me clarify that our claim about the U.S. We are saying that the U.S. is stepping back from its role as an international policeman as we see its credibility dropping from previous events like Afghanistan. We are arguing that it is crucial for Japan to step up and fill that vacant spot of power in the Indo-Pacific region, since they are allied with most countries and can lead the foundation of stability in the region with other countries to deter Chinese aggression. Our Suzuki card says this is specific to Japan because they have the strongest cultural, political, and economic ties with southeastern countries and the U.S. Next, let's answer to the status quo solves. China's aggression includes disputes in India along the line of actual control and the Senkaku Islands, not to mention their gray zone strategies all over the Indo-Pacific. Gray zone strategies include laser gliding satellites and creating artificial islands to extend their economic exclusive zones and violating other countries' airspaces with gray zone flights. The status quo isn't doing anything to solve this. The next side doesn't propose a solvency and doesn't have any countermeasures to prevent this from continuing to happen, which means the only thing left to do is to deter. As for their arms race / escalation argument, first, Yamaguchi in 20 explains that it's much more important to issue a strong edge of deterrence compared to cowering behind the minimal chance of an arms race, seeing as Chinese aggression has been rampaging through the Senkaku Islands, Taiwan in the line of actual control. Our Suzuki in 20 card explains that China will have access in deterring China Japan would have access in deterring China as they would be able to move troops and resources through ASEAN and to build a collective front against China. Second, even if arms race occurs, there's little risk of conflict. Mitchell in 17 provides two reasons. First, if going by our opponent's logic, the two sides would be relatively equal in power, with one side surging ahead of the other. This means that the cost of actual war is extremely high for both sides and disincentivizing to both sides. Second, arms race is correlation at best, not causation. There was an analysis of arms races and tensions done over the span of 150 years where escalation to war never occurred regardless of the arms race index. As for escalation, there are checks in place to prevent escalations. This is due to the inherent bipartisan incentives to stabilize any conflict and prevent escalation. Second, turn this argument as the lack of a Japanese offensive military means that escalation to other hotspots will go unchecked. That's Suzuki in 20. This means that the only way for the revision of Article 9 checks escalation through deterrence and sends a clear public message that Japan will take measures to stop escalation. The implication is clear. The only way to check escalation is through revising Article 9. Therefore, we pause the